Gillard. Well, we're going to cross live now to Greens leader Bob Brown, who's in Hobart, and he's responding to the Prime Minister's latest comments in her speech last night at the Whitlam oration.
Good morning on this lovely morning by the Hobart dockside. First thing I wanted to announce is good news for Tasmania. We've secured a visit from Ingrid Betancourt, the famed author who's coming to the Sydney Writers' Festival, but she'll be here to give the second Green oration in the Town Hall on the 26th of May. That's we're a year short now of the 40th anniversary of the world's first Greens Party meeting. So I'm looking forward to seeing my friend Ingrid. She was held in the jungle by terrorists for 6 years in Colombia. She's got a great story to tell, and that's going to be a great event. Talking of which, another oration overnight, the Whitlam oration given by Prime Minister Gillard, she got stuck into the Greens for the second time in as many weeks. I don't know what's driving that, but let me say, she was quite wrong when she describes 1.5 million Australian Greens voters as people who don't do the right thing or don't have a love of family or nation, for goodness sake. There's something amiss by that insult coming from the Prime Minister. I would never say such a thing about Labor voters or about Liberal voters or about National Party voters. It's very, very amiss language from the Prime Minister. The Australian Greens, moreover, rather than not having some moral authority on the economy, have been totally responsible. For example, in supporting the stimulus package, which saved Australia from recession and the loss of 600,000 jobs. It wasn't the opposition, the coalition, that did that. They opposed it. It was the Greens who stepped up to the mark and saved those jobs and small businesses in Australia. Moreover, we're a mainstream political party these days, which has majority support on a whole range of policies where the big parties look alike in their opposition. It was us who led the campaign in Parliament to get pensioners a long overdue rise to help ends meet. We are the campaigners for a national dental health care system. Where the people who want to save forests and extend marine protected ecosystems. It's the Australian Greens who want to see more money going into education. It's the Australian Greens who oppose the nuclear waste dump. It's the Australian Greens who oppose junk food advertising in children's TV hours in this age of epidemic overweightedness in our population. It's the Australian Greens who are leading the campaign to get high-speed rail for Australia. And of course, I think we'll find more than popular in this country is this week's announcement that we would prefer to see $18 billion in forthcoming budgets instead of going in a tax rebate to the big mining corporations who send so much money out of this country. Instead, as well as going to small business, going to the Australians who are in middle and lower income, because that's a better way to stimulate the economy and jobs in this country. So we're happy to get into a debate on the issues in this country and the central issues of the economy, climate change, the need, absolute need for better public transport and housing, for example, and education. But I think for some reason the Prime Minister's turned her fire on the very people who are supporting her in government. I'll talk to her about that. She's wrong. But we're above returning that sort of verbiage against people who vote a different way. It's just not. It's not uniting. It's divisive. That sort of language.
Are you happy to accept her constant criticism?
Well, she's free to criticise who she likes. I just think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake, and she has to go with that. We've just got the water taxi leaving nearby here. That's a bit of background for us.
So are you online with the government?
No, we're supporting this period of government under an agreement we have. But we're different to Labor, and the difference is a real one. And for example, it comes in that massive back down to the super profits mining tax, $100 billion over the next 10 years, which is $10 billion a year not available for health, education, small business, job creation in this country. We have always taken a very strong line on a new job creation in the economy. And Germany, where the Greens are doing so well, is witness to the fact that we're on the right track there. Hundreds of thousands of jobs created by legislation to tackle the menace of climate change. You know, the old businesses condemned past German governments who were influenced by the Greens on that, but it's been found to be a mainstay of the modern German economy. I might add that it's been the Greens who have opposed not just the nuclear waste dump, but proposals by the Coalition for Nuclear Power Stations in Australia in the past. And haven't we been shown to be right on that score as well? We need to go to a renewable energy and energy efficiency future, which is where the jobs are.
If the Prime Minister continues this sort of verbal attack, does she risk your friendship? Does she risk losing the Green support?
No. The question is, will the Prime Minister risk losing my friendship over this? No. I think we've got to be mature enough to be able to have differences and to be able to debate those without getting into high dudgeon about it. I think the Prime Minister has to live with her statements, and I think she's getting poor advice on it. But that's the nature of politics. The reaction we've already had, one caller in tears over the way the Prime Minister's described the Greens. Well, wrong call, Prime Minister. But no, it's not going to put aside in any way the need for the Prime Minister and I and the independents and my colleagues in the Greens to work with this government to give Australians the best dividend they can get out of a minority government which is full of promise.
Senator, when you say you're not sure what has prompted this broadside from the Prime Minister, you don't think this is at all poll-driven, recent ordinary showings in the polls?
Oh, what drives the Prime Minister you'd have to ask her about. I've got enough time accounting for what the Greens say and do, and I'm very happy to do that. But what drives the Prime Minister, or more appropriately, even what drives the Leader of the Opposition, I don't quite understand at times, but they'll defend that.
Are these comments orchestrated to give the impression of distance between Labor and the Greens?
I think so. I think it is product differentiation, but I think it's gone to, as far as Labor's concerned personally, I think it's product damage for Labor. And that, of course, is where you can end up if you're not very prudent about the words you use in deliberated public speeches of all things. They have to be very measured and they have to measure the consequences, and sometimes they can come back to bite you.
Do you think the Greens are on the opposite of the extremes to the coalition?
No. The Greens are a mainstream party. The coalition is too. I think when we start talking about using the word extreme, everybody can use that on everybody else. But it's a bit, it's hyperbole, and it just means there's a difference of opinion. And will be used from time to time. I'll probably use it myself. But when you put that brand onto the people you're working with in maintaining government, you have to think very carefully about it.
Was Lee Rhiannon right to say that the New South Wales Greens should have pushed the anti-Israel line harder during the recent state election?
I don't think she said that. I did read in Hate Media this morning that she had said they should have campaigned differently, or there should be a different emphasis on the campaign. I reiterate that the policy that she and the New South Wales Greens had in the run to the New South Wales election was wrong emphasis. New South Wales voters wanted to hear about issues that were affecting them day to day, and it's one that's been rejected by the Australian Greens. We have a very strong policy on Israel and Palestine and the right to sovereignty and a state by both of them, and neither of the other parties do have. And I think that's a sign again of the maturity and the responsibility that the Australian Greens take into national politics.
Will you be talking to her about her position?
I've spoken with her about it just this morning, and I think that it was damaging to the Greens campaign. I think they had very good policies on transport, on preschool education, on renewable energy, and the hate media was unable to play this issue up, knowing what they're doing. I mean, the Australians ringing every Green in Australia today to try and promote the story a bit further. But that's the nature of being in a country where you have freedom of the media, if not representation, fair representation in the media. And you know, the state Greens are their own entity. I'm very delighted that Jamie Parker's moving towards picking up the seat of Balmain, and that Jeremy Birmingham is moving towards picking up the upper house seat. The third, Buckingham, is moving. Jeremy Buckingham, he's the Orange councillor and a great guy he'll be in the National Parliament, is moving to picking up that third seat ahead of Pauline Hanson for the Greens. But you know, the Greens grew. The Greens got a record vote, as I predicted, in New South Wales, and there's always going to be campaigns against any new mainstream player like us, and it's a sign of how well we're going, which I take as a vote of confidence by opponents in how the Greens are going.
Why is Lee Rhiannon saying Australia should boycott Israel if it's not Greens policy?
Well, the New South Wales Greens have taken to having their own shade of foreign policy. That's up to them. It was a mistake. I differ with Lee on that, and she knows that. And so do the other components of the New South Wales Greens who handled so badly that part of the campaign against my advice. However, there you go. The results speak for themselves, and I worked very hard to get Fiona elected in Marrickville. She's a person of great integrity. She didn't deserve the campaign against her in the hate media, but she got it. And ditto with Jamie. And it's going to be one of the refreshing things about the New South Wales Parliament, that the new faces in the form of Jamie, Jan Barham and Jeremy Buckingham are coming into the Parliament on the current figures.
Did Lee Rhiannon say she'd be changing her approach in your phone call this morning? Did she give any
look, I've had a good, robust discussion with Lee about that, and you can ask her.
Will people assume it is Green policy?
The Australian will drive it for all it's worth because they have an anti-green agenda. But the hate media doesn't set our policy, we set it ourselves. And you can assume, if you're a journalist and you're sitting in Kippax Street, what you like. It doesn't alter the facts or the reality of the situation. We have a very clearly determined policy in a world in which both the big parties are frankly missing in policy definition. We can assume what we like about their policies because they're not there on their websites.
And if you've just joined us, we've been listening to the Greens leader Bob Brown speaking in Hobart. He's commenting on the Prime Minister's comments that the Greens don't share the values of everyday Australians. She said that in last night's Whitlam-oration. And this morning, Bob Brown has said that Julia Gillard is wrong. It's not uniting, it's divisive, it's a mistake. Wrong call, Prime Minister. Those are the words of Bob Brown.